Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post. A professor is suing his college for trying to create mandatory diversity training and push their ideology. As these lawsuits go through the system, and it can take a while for them to go through the system, it helps to create the circumstances that ends diversity training and DEI programs in every college. Coming from the College Fix, conservative professor's lawsuit against ASU's DEI training may proceed according to the judge. The university was trying to get the lawsuit thrown out, and the judge said, no, this lawsuit can proceed. And these things do take time, but they have to proceed before you can win. According to the attorney for the plaintiff, the court's decision rejecting ASU's attempt to dismiss the case affirms the importance of holding public institutions accountable for policies that violate constitutional rights. A conservative professor's lawsuit challenging Arizona State University's Inclusive Communities faculty training may proceed, a judge recently ruled, prompting campus leaders to now seek relief from the state's Court of Appeals in an attempt to dismiss the case. Because the university knows if they can't appeal this, if they can't stop this lawsuit, they really have no defense. Because they did violate his rights. They violate everyone's rights who work at the university just to push their agenda. Owen Anderson, an outspoken Christian conservative professor at ASU, filed the lawsuit last spring, alleging the university's mandatory diversity, equity, and inclusion training for faculty members violates a 2022 state law that forbids public agencies from requiring employees to engage in training, quote, that presents any form of blame or judgment on the basis of race, ethnicity, or sex. State laws protecting employees can be really effective, but even when you get a state law passed, you'll still have some people that will just break that law to push their ideology. That's what the university did here. Now that Trump is back in the White House, they're going to also push back from the White House, the Department of Education, the Department of Justice. This is the beginning of the end for these guys. In response to the lawsuit, the Arizona Board of Regents argued in court documents the training is not mandatory and does not assign blame on white males. However, Anderson has screenshots that show the training is billed as mandatory, with concepts such as white privilege and white supremacy included. ASU's Media Relations Division didn't want to respond to repeated requests from the College Fix, and they should not, because they have now been backed into a corner. If you're getting sued, when in doubt, shut your mouth. You shouldn't talk, and your attorneys will always tell you that. In a court filing obtained by the College Fix, the university argues the training does not run afoul of the law, that, quote, employees are encouraged to discuss and openly question the concepts and ideas contained within, and are allowed to disagree with them. Campus leaders also claim the training is not mandatory, arguing it is a request, and ASU has not disciplined any faculty, staff, or other employee, including the professor, for failing to view or complete any aspect of the Inclusive Communities training. ASU's defense led to a loss in its bid to have the case tossed out. In late December, Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Melissa Julian denied a motion to dismiss the case, according to the Phoenix New Times. Stacy Skanke, an attorney for the Goldwater Institute, which represents the professor, who is suing the university, told the College Fix that the court's decision rejecting ASU's attempt to dismiss the case affirms the importance of holding public institutions accountable for policies that violate constitutional rights. Quote, this is a crucial step forward in our fight against ASU's discriminatory DEI regime and vindicating Owen Anderson's rights, she said in an email. Quote, we may now proceed with our case to ensure that all ASU faculty and staff are free from mandatory taxpayer-funded trainings that impose ideological conformity. She added she disagrees with the Arizona Board of Regents' decision to appeal the ruling. Quote, ABOR's motion to stay is improper at this time, Skanke told the Fix. This looks like a delay to avoid the discovery phase of litigation and deprive Professor Anderson of additional information about the Inclusive Communities training that he is entitled to. We intend to oppose the motion and move this case forward. According to Anderson, the training would require him to agree that white heterosexuals are inherently racist. The Inclusive Communities module also includes an exam at the end with correct answers, of which Anderson said he believes he should not have to agree with. Responding to ASU's defense, Anderson argued campus leaders are basically saying that they did not break any laws because it is not their intent to blame anybody for injustices. and they say so at the start of the training. Anderson wrote on his Substack he feels this is ridiculous and illogical, adding he could imagine a room full of attorneys brainstorming a response. Quote, well, after discussing different approaches, one of them says, how about this? How about we say that because we started the DEI training with a disclaimer telling employees not to feel blamed, we can then say whatever we want in the training? The consultants in the room nod their heads. I like it, one of them says. In their answer to Anderson's complaint, the Arizona Board of Regents argue ASU's intent is to promote a welcoming environment for students of diverse backgrounds, stating the training's very purpose is for the university community to be more welcoming, not to make anyone feel unwelcome as a result of who they are or what they believe. Quote, the lawsuit filed by the Goldwater Institute is false and without merit, an ASU spokesperson told KJZZ Phoenix. ASU trains all faculty on its charter commitment to inclusiveness and the success of students from all walks of life. The Goldwater Institute suit misleads the court and misrepresents both the content and requirements of this training to make an argument that represents a political perspective, but is not based on the law. ASU's response also states the inclusive community training no longer includes an exam, but instead asks employees to confirm their review of the required materials in each section. Additionally, their response denies that any of the exam answers are correct in any sense, other than the most accurate reflection of the training material among other answer choices. This is something they're doing with a professor. They're giving a professor a test and telling him to answer some questions, and then letting him check his questions against the training material's opinion of what the right answer would be. But they're saying that's not really a test. We're not saying there's really correct and incorrect answers. This has become so absurd that if it had gone on much longer, who knows what this would have turned into? It has gone beyond the point of ridiculous. Overall, the main defense against the allegations from the professor in the lawsuit are that ASU neither treats or advances education or training that encourages treating individual persons or groups of people differently from each other based on their demographic or immutable characteristics, such as race or national origin, nor does the inclusive communities training present, encourage, or require any form of blame or judgment. And a little bit more background, an outspoken conservative professor at Arizona State University has sued his employer alleging its mandatory diversity, equity, and inclusion training for faculty violates a 2-year-old state law that forbids public agencies from requiring employees to engage in training that presents any form of blame or judgment on the basis of race, ethnicity, or sex. Even that law was not clear enough for the university. The university just said, you know what, let's just kind of work around that a little bit. And this is a public university paid for by taxpayers. Owen Anderson is a professor of philosophy, religious studies, and theology at ASU and is the primary plaintiff in the lawsuit that was filed with the help of conservative nonprofit Goldwater Institute based in Arizona. Whether it's this lawsuit or any other lawsuits, the government now, the federal government, is not going to be encouraging this kind of behavior from universities anymore. They're going to be working against it. They've already been warning about that. It's the beginning of the end of this nonsense in our public universities. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.